What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and welcome to my first ever video here on the channel Axe Entertainment. Now, my name is Zack Axe. I have made many YouTube videos throughout those last 10 years for different channels, and I think I finally found what I want to do on YouTube. I make Jeopardies all the time in real life for my family. I've made over 100, and WWE has always been one of my favorite things in the world, if not my favorite thing in the world. So I decided to mix the two, and I want to start quizzing you guys on WWE trivia. Now, for now on, when we do these, we're going to do them just like Brian Perry does on Into the Magic. That's who I got some of the inspiration from, and that is from the top 100 to the right all the way down to the bottom right 500. Now, I'm quizzing you guys. There's no one else playing this game. I'm quizzing you guys. So if you have any categories or anything that you want to be featured in this series, just leave it in the comments. I would love your support. I would love to hear how much you guys enjoyed it. And let's get right into the categories. So the 5 categories you will be quizzed on today are King of the Ring winners. I will explain a King of the Ring winner. You gotta tell me who that winner is. Stable members. I will ask you to name the number of people in that stable, and you have to name those people from that stable. Forgotten titles. I will show you a picture of a WWE championship, but I will have grayed out or blacked out the words that will tell you what it is. Then we have the NXT champions. I will show you a list of 4 people, and you will have to tell me which one of those people have not been the NXT champion, the main champion, not North American, not tag, the main NXT champion. Then we have original finishers. I will explain to you who's using a finisher, who was using it before they used their iconic finisher, and you got to tell me what that finisher was. Now let's jump right into the questions, starting off with King of the Ring winners for 100. Also, remember to keep track of your score, because you know Final Jeopardy is going to come up at the end, and you gotta wager some stuff. All right. Possibly the most famous King of the Ring win. This superstar won the 1996 tournament by beating Jake the Snake Roberts before dropping an infamous promo. I hope you guys got that one right. Of course, that is the most famous King of the Ring winner, Stone Cold Steve Austin, before he dropped the 316 promo. All right, next up we got stable members for 100. Can you name the 3 original members of the NWO? I hope you had enough time for that one. The 3 original members of the NWO are, of course, Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash. Also Diesel, Razor Ramon. Okay. So, can you tell me the name of this title? Everyone knows this one. You can tell by the way the title's beat up. That is, of course, the Hardcore Championship. Alright, next up we have NXT Champions, Odd One Out. Out of Carmelo Hayes, Baron Corbin, Braun Breaker, and Ilya Dragunov, can you tell me which one of these men was not NXT champion? Now, I'm sorry if you don't watch current day NXT, because you kind of have to watch current day NXT to know which of these guys has not been NXT champion. But of course, it is the guy who's actually been there the longest over his 2 stints, Baron Corbin. Next up, you'll be quizzed on original finishers for 100. Before Shawn Michaels would use the sweet chin music as his finisher, he would use it as a setup to hit this maneuver. Of course, the answer to that, he still kept it in his arsenal even after he didn't use it as a finisher. That is the teardrop suplex, or if you said the back suplex, take the points. You are now we're on to the 200 point round, worth double as much. We're starting with King of the Ring winners for 200. In 2019, this superstar won the tournament by beating Chad Gable in what most consider as the worst tournament ever held. Two Baron Corbin questions back to back. Well, not back to back because we had that one in the middle, but two close to each other Baron Corbin questions, and of course Baron Corbin is the answer here. Next up, we got stable members. Can you name me the 3 members of the Shield? Everybody knows this one. Everybody knows Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, or if you said Jon Moxley, of course, one of the most famous stables in WWE. We're on to forgotten titles for 200. Here's your next championship. So if you watched WWE in the early 2010s, I think that was when this title got retired, was like 2012-ish era. Of course, held by some greats like Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, I'm sure there's other people, Ezekiel Jackson. That's the Intercontinental Championship before it was what it is. Next up, we got NXT Champions odd one out. We got Andrade Cien Almas, Samoa Joe, Drew McIntyre, and Dean Ambrose. Which one of these has never held that NXT gold? It is Dean Ambrose. He was down there for a little bit, but while he was down there, he never did win the NXT Championship. Next up, we have original finishers for 200. When Steve Austin, formerly the Ringmaster, was being managed by Ted DiBiase, he used this submission hold made famous by his manager, Ted DiBiase. Of course, that is the $1 Million Dream. Ted DiBiase used that as his primary finisher for most of his career. So if you followed Ted DiBiase, even if you didn't know the answer to that, you should have got it. Alright, we're on to the 300-point round. Time for you to try to get 1,500 points into your bag. Let's start with King of the Ring winners for 300. This is the only 2-time King of the Ring winner. He won the tournament in 1991 by beating IRS and in 1993 by beating Bam Bam Bigelow. Yep, the answer would of course be Bret Hart. Now, if you didn't know Bret Hart won it, I bet you don't know that the year after that, Owen Hart won it. So there's a little fun fact for you. Next up, can you name me the 4 members of Evolution for 300 points? Another one that I feel like a lot of you real wrestling fans should not have missed. You got Randy Orton, Triple H, Batista, and of course, Ric Flair. Alright, now we got 300 points on the line if you can name this forgotten title. Yeah, before that was brought back in 2016, that is what the Cruiserweight Championship looked like back when it wasn't purple and it was being held by Hornswoggle. For 300 points, can you tell me which of these men out of Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler, Tommaso Ciampa, and Johnny Gargano were not NXT champion? So if you don't watch NXT recently, I probably did trip you up with this one. Because of course you know Ciampa and Gargano were the champions, but Cesaro and Dolph Ziggler, you'd have to watch it recently to know that Ziggler won it and Cesaro never did. Next up, we got original finishers. Shortly after the curb stomp was banned, Rollins would use multiple moves to finish his matches. One of these moves was this move that famously broke John Cena's nose. He still uses it nowadays, just not as often and definitely not to finish matches. That is the ripcord knee, or he also called it the Kingslayer at one point. It has many names. As long as you knew what it was, you could think. Alright, we're into the 400-point round, starting up with King of the Ring. In 1998, this superstar beat Ken Shamrock in the first round, Kane in the second round, and finally X-Pac to win the King of the Ring. Yeah, that year was pretty weird for WWE because in the Final Four with Kane was X-Pac, Road Dogg, and the eventual winner, Billy Gunn. So it was 3 members of DX, just not Kane, obviously. All right, for 400 points, name the 3 members of Demolition. All right, so of course everybody knows Axe and Smash. They were the original members, but did you get Crush right? We're on to forgotten titles for 400. I've yet to apologize for how bad my shading skills are. I did not have my mouse with me when I was making these, so it was all freehand on that little mouse. Anyways, that's of course the light heavyweight championship. I'd say most famously held by Dean Malenko. NXT champions, odd one out: Adrian Neville, Sami Zayn, Tyler Breeze, or Kevin Owens. There's a dog barking or something that's really making me mad. Anyways, sadly that was Tyler Breeze. I love Tyler Breeze. I always have. His gimmick was great. He was like the original Pretty Deadly, just tuned down a little bit, you know what I mean? But of course he never held the NXT championship, had a couple opportunities, but never grabbed it. This is your last 400 question. Can you get it right? Before adapting the RKO, Randy Orton used this move as a finisher, which would also later be used by MVP. This move had a couple different names. Randy Orton, when he used it, it was called the O-Zone. When MVP used it, it was called the Playmaker. So I think it's even called something else at one point when MVP used it. But if you said any of that, or once again, if you knew exactly what the move was, you know it's one of those, grab their arm and leg above their head and twist them. It was a really bad finisher, but if you got close to it, you can have the points. We're on to the 500-point round. Now this is for 2,500 points. If you get this right, you'll have a lot more to gamble with in Final Jeopardy. First up, we got King of the Ring. The first ever King of the Ring winner in 1985, who won the tournament by beating the Iron Sheik. I think you have to be a real wrestling fan to know this, but even if you never watched him, I personally never watched him, but I knew exactly who he was because he's the first ever King of the Ring winner. That is Don Morocco. All right, for 500 points, name the 3 members of Too Cool. This is of course Rikishi, Scotty 2 Hotty, and Grandmaster Sexay. You got that one, didn't you? Easy 500, easy 500. All right, 3 more questions to go. Next up, we got forgotten titles. Can you name this title? No blackout on it. If you don't remember this title, I completely understand. It was only ever active for one night and there's only ever been one champion. That is the greatest Royal Rumble championship, or the Saudi Arabia championship, whatever you want to call it, only ever held by the greatest Royal Rumble winner, Braun Strowman. For 500 points, which of these guys did not hold the NXT championship? Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Big E, or Bobby Roode? Maybe the most surprising one if you didn't watch NXT or if you don't know anything about the NXT championship. Roman Reigns never did hold that championship. Seth Rollins and Big E, of course, the first 2 champions. Bobby Roode's championship reign coming a little later, I think 2015, 2016. Yeah, Roman Reigns was only down there for 2012, a little bit of 2012 if that, and he never did hold that in that time. And your final question to get you 500 more points before we get to Final Jeopardy. Original finishers for 500. After he used the checkmate, but before he used the spear, Roman Reigns used this finisher in 2012 NXT to finish his opponents. Get the sweep. Did you get every question right? Of course, 2 back-to-back Roman Reigns questions, but it was called the moment of silence. It was a back suplex slam. He kind of back suplex, laid his arm over you. It was a really stupid finisher, but that's what our tribal chief used back in 2012. Final Jeopardy question today. Wager as many points as you want. You lose that many points. You gain that many points if you get it right. We're going to be mixing up King of the Ring winners and original finishers. When Sheamus first appeared in WWE, before he would start using the bro kick to finish off his opponents, he would use this maneuver. Of course, if you watch Sheamus when he first appeared, this should have been easy money for you. Formerly was Razor Ramon's finisher. So if you did say the Razor's Edge, you can take the points, I guess. But I was looking for the High Cross or the Celtic Cross. He had many different names for it. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of WWE Jeopardy. I plan on doing this for a while. I also do want to throw out some ideas, so if you're still here, I'd appreciate you sticking around and give me some ideas in the comments. I'm a huge NFL fan. I know a lot about the NFL, same thing with Marvel, obviously. And I would love to make Jeopardies about those two somewhere down the line, a little maybe after I start making a ton of WWE stuff, but let me know if you guys would want to see that. Also, I do want to make other WWE related content, such as maybe 2K24 is coming out soon. I love playing the 2K games. I have wanted to do universe mode. Goran Perkins is one of my favorite YouTubers. I would love to make kind of a universe mode, kind of like they do with my buddy. So I would love to do that. If you guys would want to see that on this channel, let me know. If you guys would want to see any other WWE content, if you guys want to have any ideas for Jeopardy, if you guys have any ideas for Jeopardy questions or Jeopardy categories, leave it in the comments and maybe you'll be featured and I definitely will give you a shout out. Before we leave, I just want to give one huge shout out to the website, to the creator of the website, Jeopardy Labs. They have allowed me to use this on YouTube for you guys. That is how I create all of my Jeopardies. It's such an easy to use website. You literally get on, you type the question, type the answer, and then it puts it in perfect format for you. I think that's going to wrap it up for today. I hope you guys did enjoy my first YouTube video back in I don't know how long. Like the video, subscribe, like I said, comment anything you guys want to see, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.